Hey guys, welcome to our review of Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, and this is a 6-part mini-series of shorts where Dave Filoni returns to animation, where he got famous and got so good with Star Wars, and returning to his original character, his baby, Ahsoka. And in these 15-minute shorts, we get kind of some holes in the lore fleshed out, some stories. The premise was basically laid out as a 6-episode split into 2 paths. The first follows Ahsoka Tano across various points in her life, and the other one depicts a young Count Dooku before his fall to the dark side of the Force, which I've always been interested in. Hey, if this guy was once a Jedi, what was he like, and what was his adventures like with Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson, who we saw return recently to Star Wars. So this is fun. So, initially, when I jumped into it, after episode 1, I was going to tell you to skip it. After I saw it first, I was like, ugh. But then after the 4th, I was like, you got to watch it right away. So this does a little bit of a turn. I was like, this is I don't really need this. But then the series won me over by episode 4, and it kind of fleshed out some of these particular characters. And so I really like it. So as a Star Wars fan, if you were a fan of Clone Wars, now the short format is going to limit it a bit. These don't expect walking into your old Clone War episodes 30 minutes, 26 minutes with commercials and stuff. But and this one, they say 15 minutes, but they're probably 10, 12 minutes.
Pretty short, yeah.
Pretty short stuff. So these were basically short stories that Dave Filoni was just kind of writing in his free time when he was traveling for The Mandalorian. And Carrie Beck, the senior vice president of development at Lucasfilms, asked him if he wanted to create these short stories into a series. And so they kind of got a little bit of a revival of that going, and they ended up in Tales of the Jedi. So what did you guys think?
First episode, like you said, was like, what is going on? Is this how we're going to start this off?
It was awful.
Yeah, I did not like it at all.
The animation was awful. The saber-tooth thing was awful. We'll get to each episode here. Let's do a non-spoiler and then a spoiler, so we'll talk it very generally.
But then after that, it kind of picked up. But I think it's just average for me overall. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This series is going to be great if you're a fan of Ahsoka Tano, if you're a fan of Clone Wars. If y'all will recall, Joe has never seen any of that shit. So it's interesting. No, and he never will. But
it's a lot.
It's interesting to see from your perspective, because you don't have connections with Ahsoka Tano, you don't really care. The young Anakin and the Master thing. From that perspective, you thought it was all right.
It's average.
Okay, average. Yeah. All right. Alex, what are you thinking?
I think that I also wanted to not watch after the first episode. It was absolutely terrible. And I'm really glad it started with Dooku, because Dooku was such an interesting character that even after watching the prequels, I read up on Dooku and like kind of his bringing up and how he was trained and his masters got switched and all this other stuff. And so I wasn't hooked after episode 4. Episode 2 had me.
Yeah,
and then 3 and 4. I think 3 and 4. Is it 3 Dooku in a row or something?
4
like
is where I was like, okay, everybody needs to see this.
The
Ahsoka stuff's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say the Dooku stuff is just excellent, and it just completely outshines any of the Ahsoka stuff. And I think that you should watch this, and I think you should actually skip 1. It feels like episode 1 was written by a child.
Yeah.
And it's
pretty
not
bad.
good. And it's like, Dave, I love your character. Shut the fuck up. You don't have to stop snowing.
I wrote that.
Stop trying to make like this character the most powerful fucking character. This character's powerful.
Like, I
more
get
powerful
it.
than
She's
Grogu.
your Luke Skywalker, but you're going a little far. We're going into Rey territory. I don't like
that.
It's beyond Rey territory.
A 1-year-old baby.
It does kind of. Oh, we'll get to it in the spoiler.
It's a 1-year-old baby.
Allie, let's go.
Episode 1 is dog shit. Don't watch it. And then the rest of it's really. If you like Dooku, like I do, then
Team Dooku.
Then you got to check this shit out.
I fucking love Dooku, dude. Dooku is right. and the Jedi are wrong. The Jedi are fucking stupid, and I hate them. I hate the Jedi. They're gonna see the power of Dog Angry Joe. They were wrong all along. All right. Anyways, yeah. So the animation, similar to the Clone Wars, but that first episode, man, and even the character model seemed a little off, stiff, weird. But it got, again, as it goes along, when we get into the Dooku stuff, we got some great character designs. We got doggies,
the little doggies. She was
cat dog.
Yeah, it's just like they're like the dog version of the Lost Cats.
Lots of cool stuff. And this series finally answers a question that I always had, and I never thought that they'd address it. It's fun. It's a fun little lore thing. It's like, hey, is that a female Yoda? And then I went on this big fucking deep dive in Star Wars Encyclopedia a long time ago, and I figured out the character's name was Yaddle, didn't have any fucking speaking lines. And what the fuck happened? She was on the council and then disappeared in the other films. Well, we finally get an answer to that question, and it is fucking awesome. And they do not... go for children on that side. So I liked that.
Did you like Bryce Dallas Howard voicing her? I did.
Yeah. So unfortunately, no. While she's an awesome actress and she's even doing great at directing some Mandalorian episodes and some coming up here as well, I don't think her voice acting is quite up to it, because it's not just like acting. You can't just be an actor and then go into the voice booth and be immediately good at it. You have to take some lessons. I'm not sure if anybody helped her out on that, but I think that it wasn't quite where it needed to be.
It was also tough because she was acting in scenes with one of the most important characters in all of Star Wars, in scenes, and it's the original. I don't want to spoil anything, but the original speaking, and then we got the replacement for the great Christopher Lee as Dooku in there. They're all really great, and it's just comparatively, it's not so good.
Right. And I notice a difference here. If you're a critic, if you're a fan, you probably don't give a shit.
And then you also figure out that Yoda just got the case of the dumbs, and he just talks like it's not a thing where like all whatever Yoda species talks like that. It's just Yoda. He's kind of
So that's confirmation.
What?
You know what's? I just realized that now. It clicked because I was like, she didn't talk like Yoda.
Yeah.
And they probably had Bryce Dallas Howard try it, and they were like, no. No. Oh, fuck. Too late to recast. Just do the normal voice.
Whatever.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Maybe even they forgot.
Yeah, we'll change it in post. It's like, oh, shit, we forgot.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, all right. Well, I like that that's Yoda's thing. So I guess that's confirmation that Grogu is not going to talk like Yoda. I always thought that maybe he would.
Maybe the males of the species.
Maybe the males
just are dumb.
Dumbasses.
I don't know. Yeah.
Have speech problems. Yeah. Maybe they go to different schools than the females of the species. We don't know because we've never known their planet. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, so let's go ahead and give the whole series as a whole a rating. It's not known whether this is a one-off or if they plan to do more, because I think if it's done at the level of stuff that they were doing for Dooku and some of the later Ahsoka episodes, like the final one, I would love to see them do little bits and pieces for future characters. I don't know, I could see a Mace Windu one. I can see a Palpatine one would be freaking sweet. Stuff like that. What about you?
Yeah, I would love. I mean, if there's interesting stories to tell, I'm always interested in watching stuff if it's done really well. And Dave loves the world. Even when I'd written off the world, he wants to write fan fiction inside, the prequel movie. He watched those movies like, I'm going to write stories for this forever. And it's like, holy shit, I wanted to abandon it after watching it. So if he's got interesting stuff to tell, then it's great. We want to go into final verdicts?
Yeah, for season 1. And then when we go into our spoilers, which we will hear after the break, we'll do individual episode ratings.
I don't have as much attachment like you guys do. Yeah. I haven't seen Clone Wars, but I thought it was fine for what it was. I'm gonna give this overall like a 6 for me.
Okay, slightly above average.
Yeah.
All righty.
I think the Dooku stuff, like I said, is excellent. I think the Ahsoka stuff is good, maybe even really good. Other than that first episode, which I think is is awful. It is truly, truly fucking awful. And that really does drag it down for me. But I still really, really like the series. Recommend that you watch it. I'm going to give it an 8, but do not watch episode 1.
Yeah, I was thinking between 8 or 9. I think on the whole, and then the short format, it's like, fuck, man. It's effective for what it does. If they want to do a little short format, tell a little effective story, it does it, but it's like it makes me want those expanded a little bit more. So I'm going to go with an 8 as well. And we'll go into individual episode ratings. But if you're a Star Wars fan, a Clone Wars fan, Ahsoka fan, or ever wondered if you might be Team Dooku like me and Alex, watch this thing. It's worth it. And it won't take up too much of your time since there's only 6 of them and they're pretty short.
Well, and you're skipping the first one, so it's
so it makes it even better. All right, well, see you in the spoiler section. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. We're going to go into each of them here. So this first one that we keep talking about, Alex, what is the first one? It's called Life and Death.
Yeah.
What happens?
So Ahsoka is born, and then they take a 1-year-old, specifically,
Hunting?
they say
Why?
a 1-year-old, and what they do is they shoot a deer. And to prove a point to a baby, they let a deer suffer before they end it, which is like a big no-no.
And then gut it in front of a
Look at
1-year-old
it.
baby.
You must see it die.
You must see the death. Take the little baby face and shove it in the fucking deer carcass.
Yeah, and then
stab the fucking deer. That's a great mother. You know why he wrote it is because he's like, we don't see enough of good moms in Star Wars, so I did this for the moms.
You don't take your 1-year-old hunting.
Well, you got an F in hunting.
You fucking idiot.
You get an F. And then a saber-toothed tiger comes up and fights the mom and then steals the baby. But it's okay because untrained 1-year-old Ahsoka that they don't know has any powers, Vulcan mind melds with the fucking saber-toothed tiger.
Eyes.
And it makes it her mount. And then they parade back into the town and they're like,
He's
oh
like,
my
I'm
God.
sorry I took your baby.
She's a Jedi now. And then everyone's like, oh shit. Dave Filoni, your Ahsoka baby's the best baby that's ever babied. And then everyone fought.
The best baby that's ever babied, and it's a mount, and it turns into World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And then she rides in, and she defeats the entire Empire with the saber-toothed tusks. Kills Darth Vader and the Emperor, one on each of the tusks. This is Dave Filoni writing this. All right, Dave, we get it. It was, unfortunately, it was just dumb.
Yeah.
Just stupid.
Doesn't fit the universe.
I was worried that I thought it was the
thought it
only
was gonna
dumb
be like
one. I'm
that.
like, I mean, I like Ahsoka, but geez. All right, anyway, so yeah, she's hunting with the 1-year-old. She shoots the deer. She can, by the way, she can sense the deer from super far away. Shh, shh. But then she doesn't see the saber-toothed tiger come up while she's gutting the deer in front of her child. And then and that saber tooth, man, that model was moving.
It looked rough.
I think it's the combination of the movement, like they didn't bother, like, okay, here's how a fucking animal would move.
It's not even the worst thing CG wise in this series. There's one later on that is like unacceptable to me.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So she fights it awkwardly, and this makes it even. I was like, oh no. Yeah. So she's like, the saber tooth is just. While she's got a knife, and she go. It's like, are we at Chunky Cheese? What are we doing here? This is with the animatronics and shit, and I don't know. It's just not good. And so then she shoots it, or tries to get her gun, and then, or just then, the town show up with their guns, and then they all shoot it, and apparently the fucking saber-toothed tiger is blaster-proof or something because they fill it full of lasers, and it just barely scratches it, I guess. And then before it runs off, though, gotta grab the baby.
Yeah.
And it grabs the baby gently. I mean, I guess it grabs it a little side of the
It would have
clothing.
put the shit out of the baby.
That baby would be fucking dead.
Yes.
The second he grabbed it to move it, because it's just what animals do. But whatever.
Not this
it's
animal.
so stupid. And then he takes it to its lair, takes the baby to his lair, just so that I don't know he can stare at the baby or eat it later. But then the baby sneezes, and it pisses off the saber-toothed tiger. What the fuck am I reading? And then, so he's going to bite him, but then you got the boop,
Boop. You boop the snoot.
Like I get that close, I guess, and she grabbed the snoop, and then they make the force connection, and it stops. And like I said, Alex, you just bring it back to town, and then and everybody, and then
Babies on the back of
it even
Sam
bows.
breakdancing
Like,
and
how is
shit.
this possible?
It even bows. It's like, this is the best baby in the world. This is baby Jesus. And it's better than Jesus. This is baby baby super Jesus. And then they literally say, how can this be? And Ahsoka is a Jedi. At 1 year old, she's completed her training. We grant her the rank of master, and she's on the council.
And before,
all right, Dave.
The people who are typing right now, well, Grogu did it. Grogu was like 40 years old, and he was trained as a Jedi for I don't know how long. This is a 1-year-old baby.
Didn't Grogu did it. Grogu had innate abilities. He probably could have done it just like Ahsoka could have done it.
But
so
Grogu's
that's a good point.
Grogu is 40.
I know.
And Grogu was trained as a Jedi in the Jedi Academy.
I know, but they're going to use this point because it's a good point.
It's a terrible point.
No,
Stop
it's not.
He was
'Cause
trained,
I
she's
guess
a
they
baby.
could say her race. I guess you could say Grogu's race is inherently powerful with the Force. There you go. Anyways, it's just ridiculous. I'm going to give it a rating. Okay, go ahead. Let's give it a rating.
2.
Yeah,
2. This isn't
I'm gonna
worth
give this
watching. It's
2.
terrible.
Terrible writing, terrible stiffness and with the animation.
Yeah, just
There's-
mom is
There's
foolish.
no point to this episode.
Yeah.
So you
Foolish
can just-
mom, foolish dad.
Obviously, you'll still get the full effect if you skip this one.
Correct.
This represents everything that is wrong with modern Star Wars writing, where it doesn't necessarily fit. They're trying to make every new character way better than all the old characters for no goddamn reason. And
They're
this
like
is
guest stars or something in for her parents because like they don't have accents. Like I guess Ahsoka never picked up an accent. Well, actually she did get carried away as a baby.
Yeah, they're always
quite young.
kidnapped
She got
as children.
recruited at age 3, so that's why I guess Dave feels the need to try to make her ultra powerful at 1, because by the time she gets recruited at 3, it's like she's super powerful. All right, get it. Anyways, moving on. 2 out of 10. Episode 2 is called Justice, and there's where things get immediately better. And like Alex said, I actually liked it, but I didn't get into super high ratings until later on. Justice, this one is young Qui-Gon Jinn and Dooku show up, and the music, I have to really make a note, and I didn't put this in the goddamn review, though I wanted to. The music is really good. Carries a lot of the scenes and helps out in the good scenes. So they go into town. Basically, the senator's son has been kidnapped, and they're sent in the seedy bar. But it turns out all these people are the ones that did the kidnapping, and the senator is ignoring his fucking people. And then the Jedi realize this, and the senator's son is like, "Hey, man, I know these people kidnapped me, but man, this sucks. I feel bad. Like my dad's fucking everything up. I don't blame him." And then the senator shows up because one of the fucking people sold him out because she's hungry and she wants to eat. And so then we have a little Mexican standoff here with Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn. And the senator's like, "Step aside." And he's like, "No, our investigation's not done. Just calm down." And then they just open fire. And Dooku and Qui-Gon start deflecting. But honestly, they sure do get a lot of people killed. You would think that Dooku and Qui-Gon would do a little bit better than they're doing here to protect. I mean, it's a bunch of generic fucking cop assholes, right? And so they kind of fuck that up. But so a lot of people get killed. But then Dooku is starting to get pissed off because the senator's talking shit while he's firing. He's like, I'm gonna kill all these people. I'm just a dick." And then Dooku goes, "All right, fuck this," and he starts to kill them, and go after his cops. But then Qui-Gon's like, "Stop!" I'm like, "No, continue."
Yeah, I was like, kill him.
Qui-Gon went into the barn to free his son, so that his son could run in the way of Dooku, who's about to strike him down. Because the senator's like, "I'm gonna go back to the Senate, and I'm gonna fuck this place up even more." And Dooku's like, "No, you're not." And but I guess the son stops him, and the dad is like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" I don't believe that for a second.
He doesn't have a change of heart.
I don't believe that for a second. Then all of a sudden, the son is now the senator. He's just acting like he's the senator. He's like, "Don't worry, I will never allow this to continue with my father." and the father's all looking all ashamed in the background. I'm like, no, I don't believe this ending. It would not be like that. It would be much messier, and Dooku was right. All right, what do y'all think?
For me, it's gonna be a 7. I like this one a little bit better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I put it. 7.
Yeah, I have it a little higher. I think I've had an 8. I think it's important because like you have this incredibly powerful Jedi. This just kind of shows you the fall, right? He's like, why would we trust you? You're fucking Senate patsies. And then he's like, no, fuck, we're here for the people. And it's like the first time he realizes that the Senate may be the enemy of the people in certain cases, so it's important.
Because the senators, you're supposed to protect the Senate and be the Senate. He's like, no, I'm with the people. All right, and then episode 3, choices. We keep going up. What is this episode, Joe?
This one was with Mace Windu.
That's right.
Then
Mace Windu
running
and
together.
They have different opinions as they show up to
choices.
a planet. Dooku is more for, questioning things, and Mace is like, look, you got to follow the rules, man. Stop looking at all these things. I didn't. Mace is fucking powerful, and I wouldn't want to fuck with him. But he's like, he's not one of my favorite characters.
No,
you know
he
what I mean?
sucks in this episode.
I do want his lightsaber though, and I do own his lightsaber. A previous master has died on this planet, and the Jedi's are saying, "What the fuck is going on here? What happened?" And so this different senator now. My fucking senators are all goddamn corrupt in this series. So, anyways, he's like, "We went into the forest. There was rebels, and they shot her." And we don't know what happened. And he's like, all right, well, take us where the master got shot. I don't know if it was a male or female, but so then they go over, and you can tell something's not right. And the Dooku and Mace are talking like,
there was a fire.
Something's going on here. And then they use their reasoning and their Jedi intelligence to be like, okay, a lot of these blaster shots are coming from the direction of the senator and his forces that they're supposed to be helping. And then that's when they realize that there was a betrayal, and the Jedi was only killed because she trusted them, let her guard down or whatnot. And so Dooku realizes what's going on and immediately engages his lightsaber as he's saying, the only way this could have happened is one of you, did this. And immediately, Mace is fucking being a dick, and he's like, hey, stop it, Dooku. Motherfucker, we're about to be attacked.
Yeah, he goes there.
And Dooku was right. They are now being attacked. And so they got robot ambushers from the trees and shit. And it's like, I would rather have my saber ready. It's, God damn it, Dooku, you're a fucking idiot. And then he's like, I want the truth. And Mace is like, don't do it this way. And Dooku's like, give me the truth.
Why
it's
not?
like, that's what anybody would say in that moment. And then just then, the senator's like, there, they did it. It was the guards. And so the senator runs towards the Jedis and he gets shot. Bleh! And then Mace is like, I fucking told you, Dooku. It's like, shut the fuck up, Mace. Anyways, so then the battle happens. They kill some people. It's cool little, choreography, Jedi. We haven't seen the saber battles in a little bit. So then, they as they kill the dudes and they're about to kill this other guy, and he makes a last-ditch effort to continue fighting. You just don't do that against Jedis. You're going to die. The last guy's like, oh, fuck. It's because he was fucking corrupt, and we're actually kind of good guys. Or we're like the rebels. We were trying to stop him from exploiting the resources, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, well, then why didn't you kill him too? And they're like, oh, well, now we're going to twist him and make him do our agenda and fix things in the Senate. But you fucked it up now.
Yeah.
So anyways, they go back to the Coruscant, and Dooku or Mace is all like, yeah, we succeeded, but will the Jedi condone your tactics, Dooku? And I'm like, his tactics of what?
He didn't really do
Engaging his
anything wrong.
lightsaber and asking what happened? Fuck the Jedi. They're so stupid. What did he do?
Couple
He
of
didn't do
wussies.
anything. He said, give me the truth. How dare you say that? So Dooku did nothing wrong. Team Dooku. 100% Team Dooku. And we've never really seen Dooku on the light side in this way like it was before. So I like this series. I thought it was really cool that we got to see this. This really does deepen the character for me. And I was hoping we'd see something like this. So then we get what happens after? Fuck.
running into
Choices.
the
No,
other
there's a
one.
funeral scene. So it kind of jumps ahead in time, and he's at the tree, and you can tell that Master Qui-Gon Jinn, his once Padawan, has died because Darth Maul cut him. Killed him.
They forgot about force healing at that time.
Yeah, well, they're not as powerful as Rey, so you don't get that.
Can you
And
put 'em together,
Windu is
though?
so yeah, and oh wait, no, that's the funeral, right? Yeah, yeah, and then the Windu is passed up for a council seat. So Mace gets because that's the Jedi. So you're telling me one of the council members got shot in the back? Damn, you ain't got no damn awareness. What the fuck were you doing on the council? Anyway, so this council Jedi got killed. So then there's an opening, and Mace takes the opening, and Dooku's like, I heard you got promoted. What the fuck? I was leading the mission or whatever, and he's like, well, it's because it's the way that you went about the mission, and you got the senator killed. It's like I didn't kill the senator. The bad guys killed the senator. You fucking moron. Whatever.
It was going to be ambushed anyway, so.
Yeah. And he's like, how kind of you, Master Jedi. And you start to see the resentment in him. And this is one, I like it. I like this one. 8 out of 10 for me.
7 for me.
8.
Episode 4, The Sith Lord. We deepen on the Dooku. Dooku erases data in the motherfucking Jedi library that we saw in the movies because fucking, Obi-Wan was like, where's this planet? Oh, it's deleted from the records. Who did that? It was Dooku. And then Dooku is still, and I never knew this, Dooku was still a Jedi when Qui-Gon Jinn had run into Darth Maul. The movies are kind of, it's like, did he leave the Jedi a long time ago? But that's not clear. But it's clear here he still has access, still uses his codes and everything. So he's just not been exiled or anything. It was like a soft separation. It was a deception, kind of. And then as he does that and he erases the data, it comes out and everybody's like talking, and the librarian's like, "Did you hear?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, Master Qui-Gon Jinn said he ran into a potential. He says he ran into a Sith Lord. Huh, what an imagination on this idiot. It's a fucking Jedi. And then Yaddle walks in, and she's talking to Dooku, and Yaddle says, "Well, there's no reason for alarm." Dooku's like, "What? My Padawan says there's a Sith fucking Lord here. Let's do something. Let's investigate. Let's send some Jedi."
Terrible awareness.
I don't know. Let's do something. And Yaddle goes, "No, there is no reason for alarm. We must be cautious until we know more." That's doing the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. Yeah, that's doing the exact opposite of what you just said. Let us be cautious. So you do nothing and pretend that it doesn't exist.
Gotta wait.
To being cautious is, let's make sure we send, 5 Jedis in parties to search for the Sith Lord. Oh, whatever. The Jedi are so stupid. And I hate them. I hate all of them. And one day I'll show them my true power as OtherJoe. Yaddle is Bryce Dallas Howard. So this episode explains what happened to Yaddle. So what happened to Yaddle, Alex? She followed.
She followed Count Dooku.
Yeah. So eventually we get to a part where Qui-Gon dies. And this really, really kind of rocks Dooku. And so, because Qui-Gon was his Padawan, and so Dooku's at this tree that kind of bonded over, and there's kind of an exchange. And she's like, "Are you going to Qui-Gon's funeral?" And Dooku's like, "Nah, man, fuck it, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not welcome there." And she's like, "Do you really hate the council so much?" He's like, "Yeah, motherfuckers. I've been telling you there's a Sith Lord. Qui-Gon told you there's a Sith Lord. He got cut in half by a fucking Sith Lord." And then he just goes off and he's like, "You're pretty much you're the fucking bad guys. I'm not showing up. I don't want to disrespect Qui-Gon that way." And so he fucks off, and then Yaddle gets like a whiff of something, and so she follows him.
Oh, you know what? I did mention this funeral. So the funeral scene in the last episode was for the Jedi that died in the council member, the unnamed Jedi. This is the funeral scene that I got mixed up.
Once Qui-Gon dies, it really affects Dooku, which was actually really cool to see.
Loved it.
But then Dooku goes off and he's going to go meet the Emperor.
Yeah.
Well, not at the time. He's going to go meet, Palpatine, who is voiced by Ian.
Yes,
and
it is.
Liam Neeson was old Qui-Gon. Liam Neeson's son was young Qui-Gon.
Ooh, I
and
didn't
so
know
like
that.
they went out
That's
with
cool.
the voices. And then we get a scene where Dooku's kind of getting in the face of the Emperor, just be like, "Hey, motherfucker, what you kill my Padawan for? Your Padawan killed my Padawan. What the fuck?"
And the Emperor goes, "Motherfucker, my Padawan died too. Shut your fucking face."
And he had the high ground.
So this was cool. And then fucking Yaddle is listening in the whole time. And these are some high-level threats here. And, okay, it's time to inform the council. Instead, she goes, "Hey, it's me!
Yeah, I was like, what
Yaddle!
are you doing?
What-ba-doo-doo! I'm here!" She literally jumps out
Like, you could've
from
just
behind.
taken
"Hey,
off."
y'all stop talking over there."
It's like, what?
What the fuck?
And a fight ensues.
Yeah.
And a fight ensues. I knew that when he was in the funeral scene and he walked away and he flies off in a ship and Yaddle turns around and I saw a saber on her belt. I'm like, all right, motherfucker's dead.
She's dead. Yeah.
They showed the saber. That saber. That's going to be used
So
later
that's
on.
what happened to her.
So, yeah. So she uses it. Dooku engages his saber after being goaded on by the Emperor. It's like the Emperor's kind of questioning his loyalty because this is kind of the early onset of their relationship, and this is a perfect opportunity for him to prove. He's like, "Kill her, do it." And so then he engages his lightsaber and starts fighting, and great music, by the way, in this one as he flies off from the
Very
funeral.
Blade Runner.
As a very Blade Runner, he flies a funeral. Well, that was in Andor. I thought it was Blade Runner. This music is very good too. And so yeah, they have a fight, and she's clearly losing. Has just better skill in the Force and even saber skill. So he clearly should have been a council member at some point if she was a council member, and then she had to step down. But this is so tragic because she agrees with him. And I liked that they sort of helped that Yaddle character out a little bit, other than her making a fucking idiotic choice. But she's like, for stepping out for no reason. But she was pleading with him as she kind of disappears and she's hiding. And she's like, I agree with you. Like, we fucked up. Let's come with me, or let's fight him together. Or
Did she say she quit the council as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what makes it even more tragic because she's like, I'm seeing what you're saying, and like, I quit the council, and I'm agreeing with you.
She's just saying that because she's about to die.
Yeah, I believed her, and and it just makes it more tragic because even if he does be like, all right, I'll help you, but he can't. He's too far in, and he obviously has led to the death of Jedis and a lot of people and fucked everything up. But he does say a line that I'm like, oh man. He's like, "I will bring peace and order to the galaxy." I guess kind of throwing back to how the dark side turns you into Anakin all times, makes you a dummy. But it's like, but that's what he saw through with the Jedi doing the whole law and order, and he saw through it, and yet he doesn't see through it here. But okay, it's the point of the dark side seducing you. Anyway, so then he kills her. He slams a door down on her, and she went splat. But apparently she didn't go splat because she's fully intact. They start talking.
I don't get that, 'cause it was
good.
like full, it's
But
closed.
then and it's another stupid moment. They got to undercut it with stupid shit. The only way that could have been possible if she rolled out, right, and it didn't hit her, and then she raises it for no reason. She raises it, and then she falls, so it's for no reason. It's for a moment, like they do in House of the Dragon when the dragon pops up in the thing. I could kill everybody, but it's just a moment to give to her. And so they give her this moment, and just so that she can fall. And then Dooku, she's like, "Why?" And Dooku's like,
Pop.
I will make this peaceful for you.
Yeah, this episode should be called Symbolism for Dummies because, like, anytime Yaddle walks away from Dooku, he's walking towards the shadows and she's walking into the light. And the last thing that she does is lift open this door, and the God rays come in, and the Emperor, who apparently is a vampire now, he's like, eh. And because the light hurts him, or something.
No, it didn't hurt him.
He's literally.
But you're right.
He's
with all the
literally doing.
imagery,
He's literally
in the
doing.
line.
He's
trying to reveal himself.
Pull it up right now. I guarantee. I'll get you large sum of
No,
money.
I'm just saying, it's not a vampire. It's just.
I get it. It's just again. It's like, well,
He
we're
doesn't
gonna
want to get caught.
we're gonna make it a symbol. It's like it's fucking stupid. I get it. You don't need to do.
And then he kills her without mercy. 9 out of 10. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was stupid here and
7
there.
out of 10.
Fucking stupid shit that she does, but ultimately, I like learning about Yaddle. I think it's a cool, fitting thing for Yaddle, and they tried to give her some moments, but yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, 9. I really like that they fleshed out Qui-Gon and Qui-Gon's relationship with Dooku here. I really like that they fleshed out the early relationship between Dooku and the Emperor here. Ian's back. I'll forgive how stupid
See,
stuff is.
we just love making fun of stuff, period. Whether we give it a 10 or a 9, we're going to make fun of it. Anyways, episode 5. Practice makes perfect.
It's
What
a
was
training
this one?
episode.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Ahsoka's in the room training. Anakin walks in. He's late. He's like watching his Padawan train with the robots. He's like, well, how'd I do? After she's done kicking ass. He's like,
Amazing. Little to no effort. She
yeah, he's
beats
like,
everything.
well, you did okay. He's like, what do you mean? I was kicking ass. He's like, you want some real training? I'll take you to real training. And they meet up with Rex.
Yeah.
And they surround her and they put their guns to stun. They train that. They have a little training montage for a while. She keeps getting stunned.
She keeps getting her ass
She
kicked.
keeps getting better every time.
Yep.
Yeah, I needed Hearts on Fire or something else playing
Yeah,
during
we
this
need
time.
something
Like
else
we
on
need,
that
we need
one.
great montage music.
Yeah, Anakin gives Ahsoka multiple concussions.
Yes.
Yeah.
She'll be fine. No, she's fucked up. Anyways,
And then once she gets better, they go into, I don't know, some other ship. I don't know where it was.
that's a scene
There's
from
some
Yeah.
the
time skips.
previous season. One of the seasons where you're talking about, it's just showing you, well, how does she handle this one time where she fought a bunch of people? And now he's like, well, all that
Hope you training, and then
hope that training
that's
meant
the end of that
something.
one.
And then we go into that. So, yeah, so Anakin is her master again without being granted the rank of master. It's a whole thing. Knights can train Padawans, but still not be master, right? So they can be a master, but not master. Get it? Because he was never granted the rank of master, but he's her master,
With an
but
asterisk.
just not a
Got it.
master. It's a whole thing. Anyways, yeah, so
was
this
it
was
like
a fun.
this one.
I mean, it was a fun one. Again, these are shorts, and it got the point across that Ahsoka thinks she's fucking badass, but not really. She's badass in training, and real life is a lot different, especially Rex's forces, which she trains up pretty well, and she can last. And then, honestly, they don't overdo it like they did it in episode 1. So it makes it later on, as she's growing older and getting more training, they make it seem like initially you could look at it, oh, she wins it completely. He's like, good, you lasted 5 minutes. so she can only last 5 minutes. They're not doing it like she beats them all up in the room or something,
Yeah.
or lets them pass. I was hoping she would at least let one pass and it would hit another guy so somebody else could get fucking concussed, not just Ahsoka. But yeah, she tries again to get better, and it just shows that she's going to need that ship when they go and train and take out the 50 troopers in that one season where the ship was falling and everything. Ship was exploding. So that was this one is a 8 out of 10.
6 for me.
Yeah, I can see 8. I mean, it's I like to see you add depth to the character. Training is important because otherwise, if you're just like I'm just good for no reason, then it fucking
Like
feels
episode
bad.
1.
Feels bad.
Episode 6, last one, called Resolve. This one I liked a lot too. They really got a lot in a short amount of time. This is a trope, but it's a good one. So we have Padme's funeral, and Ahsoka shows up to it, and Bail Organa is there. Not Bail Organa. Organa.
Organa.
It follows her and confronts her, and he's like, "Well, why'd you risk it? Are you crazy? Like, you're gonna die, get killed." And she was like, "Well,
It's my friend.
she's my friend." And it's like, "Yeah, man." And so he helps her escape, and some officers show up, and he's like talking to them, but still talking to her.
Did she not go, hey, where'd you get that baby?
What the baby?
He got a baby at that point.
Oh, the baby? Yeah. She doesn't say anything.
She's
about
like, hey,
that.
where'd that baby come from?
I guess she didn't see the baby. Anyways, so Rex is there, helps her back in the ship. They escape in kind of a proto Y-wing thing, and then she basically hides amongst farmers. And but again, in the trophy thing, she gets found out, right, because she saved somebody from a bunch of hay falling on him. Probably wouldn't have hurt too much. No, it was the machine that could have fallen on him. That's right.
They were very heavy
Haze are-
sticks.
It's
They're
very
pretty
heavy
heavy.
haze.
They're heavy, all right?
Right, and so the farmer's son is kind of a fucking dick, and he's like, the emperor's great.
I love fascism.
So as long as you're
He
loyal.
brought peace and
And the farmer's daughter is the good one, and she's like, no, this is fucking bullshit, man. This sucks. And then he could tell that she's forming a relationship with Ahsoka, and she's like, don't worry about the Empire. We're safe here, right? Right, Jedi. And he's like, oh, shit, that's a Jedi. And then later on, as she goes to the market to get some money for the hay, he's like, bye, Jedi. Or he's like, bye, may the Force be with you. And Ahsoka's like, son of a bitch. He knows. And so he tattles on that motherfucker. Piece
and
of
guess
shit.
what's coming to him.
And guess what coming to him, man?
I
'Cause
wanted
then
him
she
to die.
shows back. Yeah, I wanted him to die too.
They killed the whole village.
Yeah.
They did. He should. He
There's
should
only
have killed.
3 people left.
I know, right? Damn, man, he might kill himself after that shit because that's rough. And so so this Inquisitor
Looked
don't have a
awesome.
name. Look awesome. The unknown brother, brother.
You know what he didn't look
first
like?
brother.
He didn't
second-
look like a goth Uncle Fester. He didn't look like a fucked up Raiden.
Right.
And it would just look cool. And I fucking hate how they ruin
Yeah.
the Inquisitors
Some
and fucking
Inquisitors or
Obi-Wan.
Egghead or
Yeah.
something like that. He looked cool. Anyways, so then again, really great music. I made a note of that. And then she basically is like, here's your, he's like, well, don't I get a reward at least? Here's your reward. Like, here's your reward. He's about to kill her, but then she force pushes him, and he's like, so you are a Jedi. You're Ahsoka Tano. How are you alive? Blah, blah, blah. And then they start to fight, and it is over instantly, and I like that. Even without her fucking sabers, because at that time, she doesn't have them.
I was like, oh, what is she going to do? Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, she just takes his. And I'm like, all right, not everything has to be the drawn out fucking battle, swinging around things.
He's doing some swings and she's dodging, and then she goes, I'm tired of this. Your saber is my saber. Off with your head.
Loved it. And then basically, he's like, what are we going to do after this? He's like, or she's like, see what you did? See what you did? I'm like, yeah. I like her putting it all on him. It is on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man. Oh, sorry.
It's like, sorry, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb fuck. All right, what are we going to do now, though? And then she gets, I guess, the rebellion or Belgana to show up and
Take him in.
Yeah, take him in. And then he's like, are you ready to get back in the fight? And then she's like, mm-hmm. So it's like, all right. So that's how Ahsoka comes back, and then we see her in what we see her in and stuff. So, yeah. Or we see her in some of the later animations. So it's effective for such a short episode. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Liked it.
Very
Good arc for
tropey.
it.
I did like the end.
I'm an Ahsoka fan from the animation, so that's why it was kind of a little higher.
Yeah, very tropey, and then I liked
It's a
the
good
battle
trope.
at the end. So I give it 7.
7.
It's a good draw.
Yeah, it is insanely.
Get it up to an 8.
It's insanely tropey, but I still liked it. I mean, Star Wars has always been super tropey. This to me felt like appropriate for the world. So I think I'll also go.
I think we're
9.
Yeah, 9, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It don't matter that it's trope. We're always going to run into tropes. Just pointing it out doesn't make it worse. So as long as it's done well. And it's done well here, especially when you consider shit is done in like 12 minutes. And so when you got that, yeah, then it's running pretty well. So Dave has still got it. Don't know what the hell happened in the first episode. I heard he wrote every single one except for one, and I was like, oh, it had to be the first one, right? No, it was number 3, Choices. So it was Charles Murray and Elon Murray. Ellen Murray, actually. But anyways, so that's it. We recommend Tales of the Jedi. Go check it out. Tell us what you thought. Did you think it did justice to Ahsoka? Did you really like the Count Dooku stuff? And did you think the first episode was ridiculous? We will see you. If you like this, please contribute to us on Patreon if you like these extra videos, or subscribe. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.